Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi everybody, welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us today. I am in Southern California, and sitting on the left of me is, we've called her my Braingel. She introduced me to the guy on the right of me, but Dr. Sherry Keffer.
Hey,
how you doing?
It's great, and it's kind of an epic moment to be with both of you face to face. I love this.
Well, we love being here, and Dr. Daniel Amen. And so if you want to talk with people that have brains and somebody that knows a lot about a brain, then today's the day. 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. That is the phone number. We'll be in the studio for a couple of hours. You can call us about anything, but it's always great, Dr. Amen, when you're here, because I think that probably the brain in the Christian community is the most misunderstood part of who we are. Your brain isn't your heart or your spirit. You know, it's an organ like a kidney, but people don't treat it that way, and you've taken some of the mystery out of it, and that's what I love about what you do.
Well, I love being here. Thank you so much, my friend. When your brain works right, you work right, and when your brain is troubled for whatever reason, you have trouble in your life.
Yeah. Well, I know I've certainly benefited from what you've done for me, and I'm still working on it. And I'm just wondering if you were to say, here are and I probably ask you this every time you're on, but I just think it's important. The three things that anybody ought to look at that they're doing to have the best brain, the maximum use of their brain. What would that be?
Well, so the first thing is love your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about your brain because you can't see it.
Right.
So true.
So you have to really care about it, and then avoid anything that hurts it, know the list, and do things that help it, know the list. And ultimately it comes down to this really simple, tiny habit. Whenever you go to do something, say something. Whenever I'm going to drink this green tea, is this good for my brain?
Is it good?
Or bad for it?
Yeah.
And if you can answer that question with love, I don't do things because I should do them. I do them because I love myself. If you can answer it with love and information, you'll start changing your brain in the right way.
And the thing that I remember you saying, which I think is important for folks to hear, is that sugar is the enemy of the brain.
It's the devil. It causes...
not just the enemy, it is Satan himself.
It causes inflammation, which takes you to hell quickly. Mm-hmm. Inflammation's been associated with both depression and dementia, along with cancer, diabetes. It is addictive. You want it. They actually gave rats a choice between cocaine and sugar, and they picked the sugar.
Smart rats.
It increases cognitive impairment. So rats, another study from UCLA, rats who had a head injury, they gave the rats a head injury. One, they gave a good, healthy diet. The other, good, healthy diet with fruit sugar. 3 weeks later, the rats with the sugar couldn't do the maze.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot of people that can't do the maze of life. And you're right. I think the brain, Steve, is so underrated. But I know when your brain isn't right, you can't even love well. You can't connect well.
No, that's right. Well, if you want to join us, 1-800-229-3000. That's the phone number. A gift of any amount, you get the book Memory Rescue. What a great, wonderful book. Supercharges your brain. You can reverse memory loss. You can remember what matters most. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you want to order that, or just a gift of any amount. If you want to join us here, it's 1-800-229-3000. We'll go right to the phones right after this.
Most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here. We are going to our phones at 1-800-229-3000. It is New Life Live, and we are so grateful to have Dr. Amen with us, and Dr. Sherry Keffer always here in Southern California. Let's go to Beverly from San Francisco. Listens on KFAX. What a great station that is. Beverly, hi.
Yes.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm not doing okay.
Okay, well then that's perfect. You know, when people call and say, "Hey, I'm doing great," and I go, "Well, what in the world are you doing on a radio program?" But yeah, so tell us what's going on and see if we can help you.
So I just found out yesterday that my husband has been having an emotional affair online because the person contacted me. But he's been through Every Man's Battle. He's going through his essay groups. I've been through Women in the Battle. I'm doing my COSA groups. We're doing couples counseling, and I'm at a point now where I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do for myself next?
What did he say when you told him about it, that you knew?
When he owned up to all of it. He said, "You know what? You're right. I'm sorry." He's broken. I mean, he's broken in a way I've never seen him broken before, crying often, and now he wants to contact a pastor. He wants to. I mean, all these other things. But I feel like I've heard all this and seen this before, and it's hard to trust that. So I'm just trying to focus on like what I need to do moving on. Do I leave the marriage now? And,
well, let me give my opinion, and then we'll start with Sherry and then Dr. Amen. But just an assessment here. You know, it's very common when we have somebody in treatment for alcohol or drug addiction that they relapse, and you say, okay, let's just get them right back in treatment because now they're closer to stopping than ever. And, you know, sometimes it's the 8th treatment or the 7th or 6th, but you just never stop saying, all right, let's get back in treatment. Let's do it in a different way. Let's work with your family differently, all sorts of things like that. But sometimes because it is sexual and it is so against the vows that you take, rather than do that, you say, okay, that's it. And I understand that. But what I'd like to see is him go right back to Every Man's Battle and do it with the knowledge that he'd stopped doing the things that he was doing when he first got out of there. Sherry, what do you think Beverly needs to do here? Take care of herself? Where's the hope for her?
Well, you know, you're right, Steve. I think this is what happens in the cycle of acting out, the addiction cycle. There's a period of remorse after somebody acts out. That's what you're seeing. But what happens then is they start feeling like I'm doing better. That's one of the stages. And then this is the crux that often gets most of us, is it says, I've got this. When we get to that point that I've got this, meaning I went to EMB, but I don't need to really work as hard as I've been working, it sets us up for a relapse. And this is a big deal for you. So I because you just found out yesterday, I imagine that you're in shock. And I would begin to really look at what you want to do with what he hasn't been doing, because the illusion is I'm in SA, I'm going to couples counseling, but what is it that you've that he's not been doing, that you're wanting to say, I need this now in order to stay. I can't live with this level of deception, right? Because I get that. Connor, we were in couples therapy for 4 years. We were going 3 times a week. Couples work, he was going, I was going. But bottom line, there was still a level of deceit that he wasn't addressing. And I didn't know about it. I thought everything looked okay. So I want you to think about what you would need to stay. And then y'all have to up the ante.
Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Amen, what are you thinking here?
We're missing the brain. So there's a stopper in your brain. It's called your prefrontal cortex. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually sitting here, Beverly, feeling sad because one of my friends, Mark Laser, died this year, and Mark was just masterful at dealing with sex addicts. And Mark and I probably shared hundreds of patients over the years, and what we found, 70% of our cheaters had low function in their prefrontal cortex. So, some people don't want to stop, and that's just who they are. Other people can't because the break in their brain is broken. They played football in high school. They had a car accident. They had some sort of a traumatic brain injury, or they have ADD that's never been properly treated, and they don't have the full function of their prefrontal cortex. And the people who get cheated on have PTSD, or in their brain, what we often saw is the guys had low function in their frontal lobes. The girls or the women, their emotional brains are on fire because of the betrayal and the trauma. And so balancing both of their brains actually gives you the best chance that you can make this work. But without the brain, none of it works as well as it could.
You are so right. It makes me think of the couple that I sent to you. And he ended up having untreated bipolar disorder. He had ADD. He was chewing, which is using tobacco, which is also shut his brain down. And he had sleep apnea. And it wasn't until they got to your clinic, had a SPECT scan, that they ended up getting traction in his addiction. They're now 6 years sober. But she also had a Diamond Plus pattern. She had the trauma. Yeah. So you're absolutely right.
And I have a clinic in Walnut Creek. So Beverly's calling from San Francisco, so Walnut Creek is not too far. When you think of the cost of divorce or the impact to the family, that getting a scan is, you just think of it as the cost of being able to stay together. Yeah. If that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I say marriage is grand and divorce is about $100,000, and so if you can spend that on staying together. But Beverly, so you could go to the Amen Clinic. He could. You can get him back in every man's battle with some different parameters. There's hope here. You got to take care of yourself. But here is the number one question that I would be asking him or telling him. And this is not scientific at all. After you've heard all this great stuff by Dr. Keffer and Dr. Amen, here's the question. Are you going to get a flip phone now?
And that's what, because I hear you guys say that all the time, so that was one of my requests. Like, okay, from this point on, you get a flip phone. And he's okay. He said, okay.
All right. So I got to tell you, that's a big deal that he said he's willing to do that. Because flip phones, for a guy that's been connecting with somebody online, it's humiliating for them to have one, but it is such a gift to their staying sober, clean, and free. So to me, that's a really good indicator. And the other indicator is, and we'll try to help you with the cost of it, but he's got to go to every man's battle again. If he's not willing to do that, it didn't work for him the first time. He didn't. And, we've got these 4 stages of relapse where you get complacent and then you get confused thinking, oh, it wasn't that bad. Then you start to compromise and then you fall into something like this. So he needs to go back. And I don't know, let me send you this book, Worthy of Her Trust, right along with Dr. Amen's book, Memory Rescue, and he can get in there and look at some stuff. We want everything we can going for him, pulling for him, but it's not going to be easy. And I'm just saying, don't give up yet. but take care of yourself. There's some.
And if I kick in a copy of my book, Intimate Deception, for her,
all right,
can
we'll
we?
get the trifecta.
Yeah.
Here it comes, coming your way. So we'll get that to you. All right. How about we talk with? I can't read the name of the person.
Glenn.
Glenn. Hey, Glenn. How you doing? Glenn.
Good.
Welcome. What's going on?
Yes. I wanted to know if I have my father had Alzheimer's, and I understand that it genetically sometimes runs in families, and I have completely eliminated sugar from my diet in the last year or so, and but I still really like apples, oranges, bananas, grapes. I'm wondering if there's such a thing as good sugar and bad sugar.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's the bad? Let's start with the bad sugar.
So
White?
the bad sugar would be orange juice.
Cookies.
The good sugar would be oranges. Mm-hmm. So
I got rid of all that.
When sugar is wrapped with fiber, think blueberries, it's good for you. It's fine. When it's unwrapped in apple juice, grapefruit juice, orange juice, it turns toxic in your body. So everybody agrees. Cookies, cakes, candy, those things are not good for you. Although BrainMD, that's my supplement company, we make bars called Brain and Love bars. That is dark chocolate, because dark chocolate is great for you, but without dairy and without sugar. So I have a sweet tooth as well. My grandfather was a candy maker. I was named after him. He was my best friend growing up.
Of course.
Standing at the stove making fudge was an act of love. And so I had to break up with sugar. But I love sweet things. So in my green tea, Sweet Leaf, the company I like, makes chocolate stevia. And I'm a fan of stevia. Stevia has actually been shown to suppress Lyme, the infectious agent that causes Lyme. So I'm sort of a fan of stevia, but you want to be careful with that, because the more sweeteners you have, the more sweeteners you're going to want. And I'm not a fan of aspartame, Splenda, so kill the blue, yellow, and pink packages. But you can have apples, absolutely. You can have fruit. But my rule is 3 times the level of vegetables to fruit. And if you do that, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I just recently read some research on a small amount of orange juice for a child every day, the damage that can do for them and deregulate them and all sorts of things like that. Well, I tell you, Glenn, I'm glad you called. It's good to clarify this. You might want to try my North Pole diet. South Beach was big. This isn't quite as big. But on the North Pole diet, you just don't eat stuff that's white like the North Pole. So flour, sugar, cut back on the salt. Does it look like the North Pole, like a white icing cake? Don't eat it. White ice cream, North Pole diet. Anyway, that book will be coming out soon. No, it won't. All right. Glad you called, and let me send you Memory Rescue, and anybody else, if you'd like a copy of Memory Rescue, you can get it simply by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and the gift of any amount will send it to you. And it's a good one. It is so powerful. So many things that you would learn. Let's go to Sam, see how he's feeling today. Sam, Columbia, Missouri. How's it going?
Going very well. Thank you all for taking my call.
Certainly.
4 or 5 times a year, I have what I call a major episode of anxiety. A couple of times even ended up in the ER. Medication, prescription medication, I've only take that at the most 4 or 5 times a year, just on those episodes. I don't do it on a regular basis. Someone recommended to me that I do Gabacom, but when I went to my health food store to get Gabacom, they asked some questions, and since I'm on thyroid medication, they said I should not take that. So is there another alternative?
There's all sorts of things to do. So one of the things you want to learn is diaphragmatic breathing, learning how to breathe with your belly, and write this down. The pacing, the cadence is 3 seconds in, deep breath, 6 seconds out, and that can actually trigger an automatic relaxation response. I'm a huge fan of hypnosis, especially for anxiety disorders. We have a website, Brain Fit Life, where I actually do it for you. And from a supplement standpoint, I'm a huge fan of magnesium. That magnesium can be really helpful. GABA can be helpful. I have no idea why they'd say GABA is not good with thyroid medicine.
Well,
I've never heard
the product
it.
they had
Tyrosine, which actually supports your thyroid. But if you go to BrainMD Health, we have something called GABA-Calm that doesn't have tyrosine in it.
All right, hold on. We'll give you a little bit more right after this. And then, in the Christian community, a lot of people think hypnosis, it's turning your will over to somebody else. So we want to talk about what you're talking about when you talk about hypnosis and why that's not a bad thing. So Sam, you hold on. We'll get back to you, try to give you some more help here. Yeah, I do about 6 breaths out and about 3 in. So I'm going to have to reverse my diaphragmatic breathing here. You're listening to New Life, 1-800-229-3000.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Southern California February 28th to March the 1st. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. If you want to join us, we'll be here another hour and a half. 1-800-229-3000. That's the phone number. We'd love to talk with you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you give a gift of any amount, you can get a copy of this great book, Memory Rescue. You're rescuing your brain. I think the greatest gift God ever gave us was His Son. Second, might just be the brain. Think about it. So, what are you doing with this amazing gift given to you by God? Dr. Amon's one of the best, if not the best, at helping you get all you can out of this gift from God, and it's all right here in Memory Rescue. Now, Sam, we've got another H word for you coming from Dr. Keffer. So let's help.
So yeah, you mentioned hypnosis. I want to bring up something called the hippocampi, which are in your brain. And Dr. Amon, you talk about them as like two little seahorses. But the role of them, one of the roles is they do help you remember. They code things that are important to you, and they store things even while you sleep. But one of the things that the hippocampi is responsible for is long-term storage, or storing anniversary dates, things that have happened to you that sometimes come up on a circular. So when you said 4 to 5 times a year, you get these strong anxiety, I would basically begin to explore if there's anything that the hippocampi are storing. What's happened to you that might be cyclical, that might be events that have hurt you in the past. And like a alarm clock or a warning light, that brain of yours might be trying to say, hey, there's more to work out here. And so sometimes we end up medicating, and I want to take you a little deeper to say what has happened that might be coming up again and again that would cause you anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes.
That's a great point. And so whenever one of these come on, really think about, what are you thinking about? What are you feeling? And then in your mind, just close your eyes and go back to the first time you had those thoughts or those feelings. So that's a bridging technique I often use with my patients. And it's unbelievable what you can discover.
Totally.
So just as you think about that, Sam, is there anything that you think of right now?
Well, yes. Long story short, my wife and I was caregivers for our muscular dystrophy son for 40 years. And then, of course, there were so many episodes with him, but both he and then eventually my wife passed away with complications with muscular dystrophy.
Oh, my goodness.
So when we're close to those dates, I know it's part of the triggering.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually it happens when I'm traveling away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that can actually be treated with some deeper trauma work. There's something called eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And what you do, EMDR is the code word for it, but you end up targeting those painful losses, those anniversary dates, and you find the negative belief that's attached to that. In this case, it might be that I'm not in control, or maybe it's I'm all alone, or there's some grief that is peeking its head up. So don't walk away from this conversation today without investing in some deeper trauma work, because you can actually neutralize those dates and soften the need for medication.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to send you Healing is a Choice. Got some great things in there about what you can do to get beyond these traumatic things. Maybe we could find a trauma specialist for you. Many of our folks specialize in that. Dr. Amen, we talked about hypnosis. You studied hypnosis at Oral Roberts University. Now, a lot of people think it's weird, strange, or bad.
It's part of the divorce between the church and psychiatry, because Freud was an atheist.
Right.
And hypnosis was proved by the American Medical Association in 1957, by the Catholic Church in 1954. It's an incredibly powerful tool. I've done it for 40 years, not once opened people's mind to the devil, which is sort of the lie that goes around about it. It's just a way to teach you to guide your brain into a healing state. Now, of course, you should work with a Christian psychologist or a Christian psychiatrist that knows how to do it, that isn't pushing negatively on your beliefs. But some of my best papers, I've written 80 scientific studies. One guy had a Parkinsonian tremor that went away when I put him in a trance. And I use this bridging technique, and it's very similar to what happens in EMDR, which I am just a huge fan of. Mm-hmm. And you want to use whatever tools are available to help you corral your mind when it starts to get out of control.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of times people say, well, that's not in the Bible. Well, changing a flat isn't in the Bible either. There are a lot of things that aren't in the Bible that are helpful things. The question is, does it go against what the Bible teaches? And here's something that certainly I'm sure somebody could take it and use it for some evil purpose, but really we're talking about a way of relaxing and focusing, and you can benefit from that. Because a lot of people, you'd be a much finer person in the Christian faith If you could just focus a little bit. You can't even read the Bible. You can't focus. You can't relax enough. Everything is a reason to get up and quit whatever you're doing. You can be a better person and feel better about yourself when you take care of your brain. 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back after this. Glad you're with us today.
My wife had found me out through my past and my sexual addiction since I was a small child. It really gave me the opportunity to start digging into my past, start digging into my childhood, figure out what was causing me to feel the way I was feeling. Every Man's Battle will really give you that opportunity because all the guys there in that room are there for the exact same reason you're there. I don't want to be the reason that my kids are going to counseling. I don't want to be the reason that they begin to struggle with the same issues that I'm struggling with, and I've got to put an end to this. Yes, you can be different. God does love you. You can be forgiven for this, and there's a way out of this. But you have to acknowledge that you have to change, and that there's a problem.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to hand down something to another generation that just looks like pain and destruction. You can hand down redemption. But you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of the problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
Glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sherry Keffer and Dr. Daniel Amen. He is the author of Memory Rescue. We'd love for you to get a copy, gift of any amount. It's right here. Dr. Keffer and my wife are both part of a thing called the Braveful Summit. It's a webinar, and it's all about, it's for women who have been traumatized, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And or have been involved with problems of sexual integrity. And Sherry, what is the website that they could go to?
I am just looking.
All right, I think, yeah, but you could Google Braveful
Summit, and it'll come up. Bravehearts.com.
Bravehearts.com.
Mm-hmm.
And Misty's one of the speakers there, and Sherry's one of the speakers there, and so many great, powerful speakers are there. So, tune right in to that. Let's go back to the phones, and let's talk with Trina. Trina is calling all the way from Texas and listens on KWRD. Hi, Trina. How are you? Is your town Little Elm? Is that right?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a sweet little name there, Little Elm. Well, how can we help you today? What's going on?
Well, I appreciate you guys' show. So I'm calling basically to find out, how do you deal with a spouse who has narcissistic tendencies or traits?
Okay, so your husband, if you're saying you sound like a nice person, so when you're saying narcissistic traits, I'm just wondering if you're thinking, man, I am married to a narcissist. What am I going to do? Is it more severe or less, kind of the way you're saying it, narcissistic traits?
It's pretty severe. I think the thing that keeps him in line from time to time is because we do attend church regularly on Sundays, and he does go to Bible study on Wednesday, every other Wednesday.
Okay, so what's something that you could tell us he does that we'd go, oh yeah, that's pretty narcissistic? Can you think of something?
Yes, everything's about him, and he's the victim. Nobody's done anything or been there for him, and it's everything is about him.
Okay, so the question for us is just the general question of what to do.
Yeah, like how do you deal with it? Because I pray for him, but it could take a toll on you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And we haven't even been married a year. It'll be a year in January.
Wow. Okay.
And,
did you see this when you were dating?
Right in the microphone there.
Sorry.
When you were dating, did that show up?
You know what? Honestly, it did, but because I didn't have self-love for myself, because my father was not in my life, and I barely had my mother in my life, and then I dated men that did not see my self-worth because I wanted someone to love me and I wanted to feel loved, so I accepted so much stuff.
Yeah, and I would imagine you thought once you were married, your love would transform him into an even better man.
I did. I really did.
Okay.
And it's been a challenge.
Yeah. All right. So here you are. You're married to a narcissist, and you want some help. Sherry, what do you think?
Oh, girl. Well, let me just tell you one thing. I want you to continue to grow strong in knowing you. Because oftentimes we want to change those long-term issues. And really, look, at the core of narcissism is a very wounded person. And the reason they have to inflate themselves, the reason they go to this victim place, which is I'm gonna make you think that I'm humble and I'm broken, but really it's others are out to hurt me, and they've really been wounded. Okay, so they can suck the life out of us. But one of the things you could do with him, in light of holding on to your own core, right? Reminding yourself that you can't change him, but you can begin to ask him, notice, right? It's, hey, I'm just wondering, how is it that you see yourself right now in this kind of powerless place? I wouldn't use the word victim with them, but how is it that you see yourself in a powerless place right now? Right? How is it that you are, feeling so small? Like, where is your path out of this? Because they do really see others, right, as more adversarial. But in their core, they're really a wounded little boy inside.
Yeah. It seems to me, and Dr. Amen, you can certainly give us some insight here. But when I think of narcissists, male narcissists, I think of the term king baby. And there are two different types of men who might still be in diapers at age 50. There's king baby, the conqueror, who's done a lot, he's succeeded, and thinks everybody should worship him because of it. But then you do have this other victim type king baby where, oh, poor me, look at this, I took this great job, they didn't appreciate me, and you look at their resume, and every 3 or 4 months, different job until finally nobody wants to hire them anymore. But this king baby mentality, they want everything and nothing, or even if they get everything, it's not going to fulfill them. It's not enough. And that's a pretty tough thing to live with someone totally obsessed with themselves.
Well, not enough is the cultural epidemic that is driven by social media, that is driving so much in the area of depression in teenage girls especially. But Trina, the thing I would say is what I've learned is the only way to change other people is to start by changing yourself.
It's true.
And yes, there's a neuroscience with narcissistic personality disorder. They have lower frontal lobe function. They have a damaged mirror neuron system. That's the system in your brain that allows you to see other people and have empathy. And but the stronger you get, the better he'll be, or the worse he'll be. But the stronger you get, my experience is that's the best way to start. Because if you start by trying to change him, it's not going to work. So be firm, set clear boundaries, learn how to be assertive, and make sure you have a support system that includes other people besides him.
Yeah, because you're going to need empathy, girl.
Yeah.
You're going to need to be seen, known, and loved.
Yeah, and it's easy to acquiesce to a guy like that, but you don't want to get in that pattern. And if you already are, you haven't been married that long, you can get out of that pattern. You want to be active in getting the support that you need, taking care of you. And you really want to, I think it's important to reflect back to him what you're seeing. Well, I see you're really focused on that pain, whatever it is. And maybe they can develop over time a bit of insight into what they're doing there.
They basically believe they're unlovable. It's so interesting how at church he kind of softens. Mm-hmm. But you know what? He's reminded that God loves him even though, right? And they just need to know that.
And it puts boundaries around his behavior, because a lot of narcissists become abusive over time because they don't have the moral boundaries, which is why church is so important.
Yeah. So a lot of support for you. I'll send you Dave Stoops' book, Smart Love. That'll help you there.
Or Loving a Narcissist, your book.
Oh, Understanding and Loving a Person with Narcissistic Personality Disorder. We'll send that to you. Thanks for reminding me.
You got it.
But really, it will help you deal with him in a better way. It'll be more constructive, less destructive in the interactions. Let's go to Jackie. She's calling us from Louisville, Kentucky. WFIA is the station. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for blessing me with this phone call. I appreciate it.
Sure. What's going on?
I am a hardcore sugar addict. I'm diabetic. I have very bad PTSD. I can't get treatment for it. I don't have the money. I've had it for 30 years. I'm a survivor of the first workplace shooting in this country. I'm having dementia symptoms. Alzheimer's runs in my family, but my doctor keeps saying they believe it's the sugar from the diabetes. I'm almost completely shut down. I mean, completely. It's everything I can do to put one foot in front of the other. The sugar's eating up my body, my mind, and I'm going to die. And I don't want to.
Yeah, all right.
I'm having a very hard time, Christian-wise, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. God is keeping me in his hands because I can't do anything on my own anymore.
All right, Jackie.
I just need help.
I have to go to a break. I'm really glad that you've called us today. We want to give you some help and a little bit of hope here, and really feel badly for you where you are, but just maybe something we say might change things. We'll be back after this for more New Life.
My wife asked me for the first time in 2011 if I would consider myself a sex addict, so I signed up. I'd read the Every Man's Battle book, and it was a great book, but the workshop, it was the experience that really was key for me. If they go to EMB, they're going to be in good hands. This is a safe place. They're going to be surrounded by men that simply walk the talk. The weekend leaders that they will go through this workshop with, they'll help them to get to the root of their issues. I've been through a number of well-preached sermons, listened to and read countless books, been to a number of seminars, but EMB for me was a game changer. It truly saved my life. Being in this community, being in this workshop, being around these men will change them if they'll let them. You're going to encounter men that will meet you where you're at, and you will instantly walk into a safe place where they're welcome.
If you're struggling, call us. We don't want you to go on struggling. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay in the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you a set of 4 devotionals, 100 Days of Character, Peace, Prayer, and the newly released 100 Days of Healing. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Back. We're talking with Jackie. Jackie's really struggling here, and we want to help you, Jackie. And Dr. Raymond, what do you, as you said, this is an important phone call. What are you thinking here?
Everything she said is important. She has Alzheimer's in her family. Diabetes is one of the major risk factors for Alzheimer's disease.
Okay.
In Memory Rescue, I talk about it. There's a mnemonic called Bright Minds. Those are the 11 major risk factors that steal your mind. And D is diabesity, which is a combination of being diabetic and overweight. And it's a nightmare for the brain. But Jackie, one of the things I want you to know is it only takes 10 days to break a sugar addiction. So you have to see sugar as a weapon of mass destruction. It clearly is in the United States, but we can remodel your taste buds in a very short period of time if you can commit to what are the alternatives. My wife Tana has a book called The Brain Warrior's Way cookbook, and she helps you replace, not erase, because like you, I have a sweet tooth. But you just have to see, you're exactly right that this will kill you if you don't get on top of it. And there's certain supplements that really can help with craving, like chromium. There's another one called N-acetylcysteine that can be helpful as well, because this is just something that steals people's lives.
All right, so Dr. Keffer, what do you think?
Yeah, so hey, Jackie, I have worked with folks just like you who have been a part of a work shooting, and I tell you, that is a tragic, scary moment. But bar none, one of the negative beliefs that I find gets wrapped around that trauma event is I'm in danger. The opposite is, it's over, I'm safe now. So my goal is to help them get into truth. But this is the interesting deal with you, is you feel like you're in danger in your own body. You're living out that negative belief. I'm in danger because sugar has become your source of comfort. And so if I was, if I was there right now, you know what I would do? I would sit down with you and we would start figuring out which Overeaters Anonymous group, 12-step group, or Weight Watchers is in your area. And you know why I would do that? Because I would want you to take your sweet little body and get into a group of other folks that can help you do the challenge that Dr. Amen just said, help you stay true to that 10 days. Because you're going to need to do it, my dear, in community. It's hard to stop on our own.
Well, Jackie, I'm glad that you called, and I believe that God is a powerful God. And this sounds weird, but God needs help. God needs you to help him. He needs you to have willingness to find a way to get to a support group. He needs you to have willingness to get into, and it's tough when you've been isolated, a women's Bible study where you can have some support, to get some counseling here and encouragement. God needs you to help him help you within a matter of 10 days. Totally just not even need or desire sugar anymore. 10 days and everything changes. Because you can live And God can take this life at this point and create such a miraculous transformation, but he needs your help. I'm going to send you.
Sometimes I just wanted to say, like, OA, Overeaters Anonymous, is free.
Yeah.
So there's like no reason that we can't take a step towards taking care of ourselves.
When you start working on one thing, it impacts other things. I'm going to send you Take Your Life Back. I think it can, your life, it's the difference between reactive and responsive life. You're continuing to react to things in the past. We want you to be responding to the God that can help you here. And I'm glad that you called. Anybody else want to
also
copy?
send her Memory Rescue,
Okay,
because it has the whole diabetes section in it.
Memory Rescue coming your way, and anybody else, a gift of any amount here. This is an amazing book by Dr. Amen, and we will send it to you for any amount. Our way of saying thank you for supporting us, but we want you to have it, so we're not putting a price on it. 1-800-NEW-LIFE is the number to call. 1-800-NEW-LIFE is also the number to call if you can support this ministry. And Larry Sonnenberg, I want you to talk to us about somebody who's been helped by this ministry.
Funny you should ask. We got a note in the mail yesterday from a lady in Colorado. And the thing I love about this is sometimes we hear from people right after an event. They're still on a mountain high and things are going well. This is talks about the longevity of how things, how people can stay with it. 5 years ago, our son Richard attended your Every Man's Battle seminar in Denver. It changed his life. He's still attending weekly support meetings. He's fully employed. He has a loving family. We can't thank you enough for your ministry. And she closed the gift to our scholarship fund.
That's pretty nice, 5 years.
Yeah, it's just... that's why we ask you folks to support us, because people's lives are changed, not for the moment, not for a week or two, but ongoing forever.
Right.
They have to keep working, but their addiction becomes staying well.
Yeah. So a one-time gift, we'll send you for a one-time gift, Memory Rescue. Hope and pray that in your year-end giving that you're thinking about us. I don't know of any ministry that's puts more right to help the folks that need it than this one, and the transformation is real and lasting. Larry?
And Steve, we have a matching gift right now, so their gift will be doubled, up to $168,700. We're about this morning before the day started, we were 23% matched. So
it's wonderful.
We're getting there, but we need your help. If you could make your year-end gift and have it matched, we'd love for you to do that now. Call the 800 number.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. People have said, I want to give, but I want to inspire and motivate other people to give. So it's doubled, but we have to do it by the end of the year. That's the restriction on the match. So hope and pray that you will consider.
They can give online.
Yeah. Because we want to be doing this for a very, very long time, transforming lives with God's wisdom and God's truth. And that's what we get to see. Now, if you, Larry.
Last thing, if you send a check, please just put on the check matching gift.
Yeah. All right. The other thing is Club New Life, and we'll send you 4 of these great 100 days of healing and peace and character. They're amazing devotional books, and that's our way of saying thanks for joining at $30 a month, Club New Life. But right now, I just want to encourage you to do something that makes today better. And I don't know what that is, but maybe it's a Bible verse. Maybe it's sitting down and actually studying the Bible a little bit. But we all know the power of compounding interest and what that can do and build up. If you just got a little bit better every day, wouldn't that be something? Well, trying harder, in my mind, just makes trying harder. I need to surrender to God every day and ask Him to come and help me do what I can't do. And then I've got to be willing to do what I've been waiting for Him to do. We're all looking for the big miracle, the one thing that would change everything. Well, the way we do it is a little bit every day. And Dr. Amen has given us some practical things here today. And if you want to look at all of those things in one place, Memory Rescue, it's a great opportunity to read that. He's got a new book coming out, a new project. We'll see it on TV too, The End of Mental Illness. And it's a personal story as well as all of the research that's there. It's pretty amazing, and we'll have him back to talk about that. But The End of Mental Illness. We have another program that we're going to do right after this. We'll tape it. The phone number, 1-800-229-3000. But if you need some help or you can help us, that's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Have a great day today. And of course, if you don't, it's your fault. No, well, okay, maybe it is. Anyway, you have a great day.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.